everyone, it's Allison here, also known as the Sun Fae, and I'm here today to bring you the first Zen Doodle with me video for the month of March. And again, just as a reminder, this is for the Zen Art Challenge, and there's no better time to start than at the beginning of the month. So today I'm going to go through the tangles for March 1st through 4th, and I'll see you again over the weekend with next week's tangles. But let's go ahead and dive into the first four. Okay, so the first tangle that I have for you guys today is Zen Gore Dia, and it's by Claudia Gosens. And I'm just going to say, let's get started. So first thing you're going to want to do is to make a circle at the center of your design. And kind of fill it in a little bit, do a little bit of a C shape, going off to one of the corners, and fill in the remaining area, just to add some interest. And then kind of go around the circle. And I'm kind of going to follow the curves of the circle here to get a tangent line and come out and hook slightly back right at the top. And do that a couple more times. All right, so now we have our lines in place. And I'm going with the design and only doing 5 of them. You could increase this number if you want to. But I'm just going to leave it at 5. And then from each of these curves, we're going to hook out slightly from it and then come all the way in until we meet back with the next line. And come slightly in. And all the way in. Just like that, we're all done. Yeah, this was a really fun tangle. I'd do it again, and I'm actually pretty happy with how this looks. So I'm going to leave it as is and move on to the next tangle. So the next tangle we have is called Acenta, and the source that I have for it is from Constant Contact. And I'm just going to dive right on into the tangle. So the way you start this one off is with some dashed lines, and you alternate between making them horizontal and making them vertical. And then once you have your alternating dashed grid, you're kind of going to make little balloons. And the easiest way to do this is in an organized manner. So you do some upward facing balloons first. And the way you do that is you come in and you curve out slightly and then come back into one of the vertical dashes from a horizontal dash, and kind of repeat the same thing on the other side. So again, from a horizontal dash on one of the ends of it, you curve out, you come in to connect to a vertical dash, and repeat. And once you've done all of your vertical ones, you can kind of rotate your image or even just leave it as is and do right-facing balloons. And again, rotate or leave your page as is and do downward facing and then finally left facing. And there you go. You're left with kind of this pattern that's given by these balloon shapes. I've done this one actually before, one of the few times I've done one of these tangles before actually doing this. And I've used this in my own artwork. I think it comes out really cool. And there's a ton of ways that you could color this in order to add some more detail. I'm going to leave this one as is because I kind of like how it came out. Ways that this could pop up in artwork. For me, I kind of think this looks like a cobbled sidewalk. So that could be a really cool way to incorporate it into other art pieces outside of Zentangle. But I think for now, I'm going to focus on the Zentangle aspect and move on to the next tangle. Okay, the third tangle that I have for you today is called Azrael, and I don't really have an attribution for it, but I have a link to the Pinterest page where it's penned. So if you're interested, you can go look there and maybe you'll have better luck than I did in finding the proper attribution. But let's go ahead, dive in. So with this one, you're going to create a series of 4 parallel curved lines. And I'm going to start with the inner 2 first. So just kind of do a little bit of a wave. And then the one that goes with it is a little bit further away. And then the others, the outside ones are close to their inside partner. And you could do these as straight lines as well. I've decided to do mine as a little bit curved. So the next detail is to come in and make X's between the 2 inner lines. Just like that. And I'm also kind of going to carry this off the page just a tad to continue the image. And once you have those in place, you're going to divide each of the rhombuses, that is the proper word here, that were formed by the X's in half. And then in one of those halves, so long as it's consistent, draw lines parallel to it, filling it in. And once you have done those, you also want to do the same thing for the sides. And have them go perpendicular to the lines that you've previously drawn. So now all of our lines are in place. You can go in and fill in the space between the edges with circles. And just do a bunch of circles as close to each other as possible. But you want it to fill in the space. And voila! Just like that, we're done with Azrael. It's cute. Kind of makes me think of film, like the way a film strip would look. So something I'll have to incorporate someday in a themed piece. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this one. Let's go ahead and move on to the final tangle for this session. Alright, the final tangle that I have for you guys today is sedgling, and the attribution I can find for this is some Russian name that's written in Cyrillic, and I do not want to attempt to pronounce that for fear of mispronouncing and misreading something. But I will include a link to the source below. But let's go ahead and dive into the tangle. So with this one, you want to start off with drawing stems, and the way I recommend doing that is you start at the bottom and work your way up. Maybe have a slight curve to it, maybe just go straight up. Draw another one that follows that curve. And then at the top with this one, just do a small little curve that connects the two of them. Almost like drawing a parenthesis that connects these two lines. And from there, you're kind of going to spiral out. And starting on one of the sides, come up, circle around, circle down, follow this curve all the way through, but lift when you get to the stem. And continue it, going all the way around until it's as big as you want it to be, which I think that's about where I want it, in my case with this one. And you could draw another one to go with it. And I could draw a bunch more to go with this, but I think I'm going to stop here. But you could fill the space in as much as you want. They kind of look like little flowers or lollipops. One little tip that I'll provide that I didn't do, but if you do want to go ahead and just carry your spiral all the way through, you can. And what you could do at the end in order to cover that up is completely fill in the stem so it's dark and provide some color. Just as a suggestion, if you don't feel comfortable with picking up your pen momentarily to jump around. Yeah, overall, I think it's really cute. And I hope you enjoyed that. Okay, so that is it for this first session of Zen Doodle with me for the month of March. This gives us March 1st through March 4th. And I will be back on Sunday with the next week's tangles. I'll see you then. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Goodbye.